Welcome to the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce News and Views Show. I'm your host, Diane Sawyer, President and CEO of the Reidsville Chamber. And today I have with me Kathryn Church. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi.
Glad to be back.
I know. I was trying to think. It's been a while. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and find the number episode that it was.
I checked yesterday.
Of course you did.
Yeah, because I was like, how long's it been? But it was the week before I got braces. So it was like the first week of January of 2024.
Oh.
And it was at the countywide coffee, and somebody said, "Do you have plans tomorrow morning?" Or whatever it was, like Friday morning, because that one's on a Wednesday. And I was like, well, I guess I do now. So,
you do now?
Yeah. A lot of life has happened since then.
A lot.
Yes.
So
not just me having braces.
No, not just having braces.
I'm in the third year. Let's work.
Okay. It was funny. We were talking about braces last night because my kid got hers all finally, and somebody was telling me she wore, 2 sets, so she had them a long time too.
Yeah.
And it's
fun.
It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm. It's teaching me a lot of patience, which transcends into lots of areas
of
life.
It does transcend, especially in business. I think we were just talking about that before the show started. All the things that happen for small businesses. Yeah. Speaking of that, you represent more than one. You wear so many hats, not just ambassador of the chamber. And I love that you have your name tag on because you literally go nowhere without it. And I love that when we do those for folks, we put their business name on there too. So I love that you're here representing both of those and us and yourself. And so let's talk a little bit about that. How did we get here?
Well, I don't know what the stats are as far as like if a small business makes it like past the 5-year mark.
There's a 1, 3, and 5.
Okay,
that's kind of like different milestones, and then 10.
So even though when the pandemic shifted everything and I started getting into insurance and getting my license, I technically didn't get into it fully until 2021. Yeah. So this is 5 years for me, and
yay. Congratulations!
So I love it, and I got the high five of the day yesterday from the chamber page. So that was really cool just for me to read 5 reasons why you should choose Kathryn Church Insurance for your Medicare, life insurance, retirement planning needs. I could be a lot busier if I wanted to, because I do very little marketing, but I will say that the chamber and the opportunities that I've had through connections, and we talk a lot about connections, and I have a ton, and we're probably going to do more videos on those specifically, but it's because of those and word of mouth referrals and you guys referring people to me that it keeps me busy. And then I also wear other hats of Rockingham Chiropractic. So I'm in my slower-ish season of Medicare, but the busier season of chiropractic.
Right.
So school screenings, golf tournaments, health fairs, all the warmer weather stuff. And I love it. So I don't get bored. And
no one does the same.
No.
Which is kind of how I feel.
Exactly.
My job's that way.
Because somebody, I think it was Debbie yesterday at the coffee, she's like, what you been up to? And I was like, which day? Because I'm like, it changes every day. Keeps me on my toes, keeps me on my Google Calendar. Thank you for auto-populating my Google Calendar.
You're welcome.
For all of the chamber things. And then so tomorrow I'll be at Teen Challenge, which is the Addiction Recovery Center in Greensboro that I've been serving at for, I started in March of 2017. So I guess technically I'm in my now 11th year. So I just have been there doing that 10 years. Sunday night I'll be in prison in Yanceyville doing prison ministry. So that's another hat. I love to travel, volunteering with whatever chamber stuff I can do, serving on committees. I overcommitted myself last year, and so I stepped back a little bit this year.
You did, and I was proud of you for that. Boundaries and knowing what you can handle and setting yourself up for failure versus success is a major thing in business and in general in life. But there's a lot to unpack there. Let's go back. Okay. I want to talk about, so I remember when you were just like a chamber baby. Like when you were like fresh and trying to figure it out, and you were still, which we're all still figuring it out every day, right? Like, what are we going to be when we grow up, and what are we going to do? But like, you were trying to figure out, like, what's my place? Like, where am I going? What am I going to do? And you've had this really great, stable place with the chiropractor and with Dr. T, and just kind of being a part of his team. And the culture there is so amazing, and the way he takes care of his people, both his patients and his staff. You know, there are some who have been there with him for a really long time. And he's doing some pretty cool stuff. We won't steal his thunder, but he's got some cool stuff in the works and coming up. But, you know, I remember when you started coming around and you were like trying to figure out, like, where do I engage? What do I do? Like, how does this work? But you just like jumped in, both feet, all the things. And I think like it just started just spinning out of control. There was like all these awesome stuff happening. And then I think the story of your dad and your dad doing the insurance and the pandemic, and you're being like, oh, okay, what am I going to do with my time? And that's like a really interesting way that kind of took a whole turn for you.
And kind of what I was talking to you about yesterday is that sometimes, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but I mean, I'll be 36 in a few months, and I'm still like, what do I want to be when I grow up? Or like, what do I want to do? And I look back at like, you know, what I got my college degree in, and you know, I was a school teacher, and that's when I started going to the chiropractor. And then I worked for 2 different businesses that were also chamber members before I started KC Insurance. I didn't start KC Insurance. That was my dad. He's been doing it since 1992. When I was a little wee tot, I was bald and chubby. Yeah, but apparently his journalism degree at the Eden Daily News wasn't paying enough to feed me. So he started in insurance, and that's all I've ever known. And the freedom and flexibility that he had to be able to be present in my life, I took that for granted. And now seeing the last 5 years of my life that I've been able to do more and be more involved in the community than when I was working jobs that, you know, I had to clock in and clock out of. But doing better financially, better mentally, and I think this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. I think it's lots of things. But that is a huge passion for me, is to focus on that. It hasn't always been that, but I've learned, and I'm still learning, the balance of like mind, body, and spirit, and knowing that regardless of what season of life that I'm in and what hat I'm wearing or what vocation I'm in, it's a stepping stone, because those things don't define me. And who knows, in the next season of my life, I may be doing something completely different. I really like what I do, but I've also liked what I've done in the other things. When I was in my 20s and youth pastoring, while in college full time, while serving and bartending at Red Robin, while doing other stuff, I thought I was going to be a youth pastor forever. I was like, I'm going to be an 80-year-old youth pastor. I still love youth, but I haven't done that in the last almost 10 years. But I said I was going to reference this. So this tattoo, it's not new, but you know, people don't look at my ankles, but it says work hard, play hard, rest hard, repeat. And that's like a motto for me, because I want to be able to enjoy life in whatever like season I'm in. And I don't mean to be like hijacking this conversation.
You're not hijacking. This is about you. This is what we're talking.
Yeah, and I know with, you know, this is called news and views, and I'm like, I don't watch the news. I hate the news. I don't have really any new news to bring to the table. But I do think that people look at my life and they just like, sometimes they just like scratch their head, or they think, this girl is wild. I mean, I live in a camper. I live a very simple life. I love to travel. I have a nomadic nature, and obviously doing so many different things. But there was a quote that I heard on a podcast by this Middle Eastern refugee that is now a Christian rapper. His name is Ruslan KD, and he wrote a book, came out last fall, called Godly Ambition. And he said that the difference between purpose and assignment is that purpose is eternal, assignment is seasonal. And sometimes people get those confused. And then in calling, which in the faith world, I think that is a focus. Like, what are you called to do? Mm-hmm. A calling is more so discovered by your passion, your mission, and your vocation. So what do you love to do? Like, what brings you joy? And then the mission is, what can I do about, like, what gift do I have? What talent do I have to bring to a need in the world? For me, that's like, what do I get frustrated about? What gets under my skin? Because that can, like, let me know, like, what my calling is. Mm-hmm. And then vocation is just like, what am I actually doing day to day to earn money so that I can also do the things that I love and bless others and be generous. And
so yeah, when I said there's a lot to unpack, you kind of took and ran with a piece of it. There's a piece I wanted to circle back to, though.
Okay.
You're talking about going to prison. You're talking about the things that you do in ministry.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff comes from your why and from all the things you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Do you want to share where some of that comes from?
Sure. I don't know where I heard this, but I heard this a long time ago, that the two most important questions we can ever answer is, what do I believe about Jesus, and how does that affect me? And if people can answer that, like, I don't care if you're an atheist. Like, I don't care if you're of a different faith. Even atheists believe that Jesus existed. Like, there's historical documentation. But, like, what do you believe about who he was and what his purpose was and how he laid his life down and he lived a perfect, sinless life? And, so much of that is, like, indisputable. It's just, like, even the guy who basically put him on trial to kill him, he said, I find no fault in him. Like, nobody could find fault. Like, they're like, so it's just like, what I believe about Jesus is that he lived perfectly and paid the penalty for my shortcomings and my sin. And that's how it affects me, because not only do I live a life that is full of shortcomings, and I fail every day. I mean, sometimes I think things and I'm like, that was so judgmental. That was so, like, rude. Like, what I just thought, like, it's awful. And sometimes I get prideful and, whatever. But I'm like, he paid for that, and I'm grateful. So I don't want to ever, like, take advantage in a negative way of that. But it makes me so grateful, and it also makes me way more compassionate towards, like, anybody else. So when I'm going into prisons, some of them have done some really bad things, but God looks at it the same as me telling a little white lie, and they're still worthy of love and life. And others don't deserve to be there at all. They were wrong place, wrong time, guilty by association. The addiction recovery, every single one of us battle addiction of some sort. I mean, literally, people just think, oh, it's just drug and alcohol. No. It's social media, it's food, it's attention and validation, and it's all an addiction. And so, again, it just brings awareness to our humanity, and, like, what are we doing with the realization that we are not perfect, and yet God still gives us a purpose that can make him known and humble us.
I think that it's so interesting to me that you do not ever push your faith on people, and you don't ever, like, you can be in a room and nobody, like, feels uncomfortable because of something you do or say or wear or talk about when it comes to the things that you do. Yet you're just kind of like this complete light of life that goes around from meeting to event to appointment to all the things that you're doing. And I think I'm constantly amazed by, like, this force that you are, no matter what you're doing and what hat you're wearing and where you go. So I think it's really great to hear, like, kind of your personal mantra and, like, your why and why you do the things you do. Right. And so for me, I have seen over the years, like these layers, like that have added and added and added. So like layers from being like younger and some of your personal traumas and like some of your, like you said, like what you started out to do and the education and the background you had and the jobs you had. But then it was like you started to figure out like who you were supposed to be and how you were supposed to impact people. Yeah. And it's just been a really cool thing to witness. Like I was telling somebody the other day, this summer makes 16 years. And it's funny because it kind of just aligns with like my family, right? Because my oldest was born. I came, so many of my connections, my next guest, same thing, like so many of my connections, so much of the chamber, all of it kind of just started around the birth of my daughter and like the loss I had experienced and then her being my rainbow baby. And then I got this new job, a new career. And then I was able to meet people like you. And then like I've been able to watch all these other people, like these rebirths and these like additions and these layers and them just trying to figure out like where things go. And, you know, literally, like, if you don't know Kathryn Church, you need to, because there's something in her life that she does or hat that she wears that probably affects you. Because no kidding, like with the insurance stuff, like everybody needs to be thinking about that stuff, right? And with working, what you do, screening people to get them to Dr. Thompson's office, like that piece of your health is like so key. And like, so it's so interesting to me because of the things that you do, like they seem like kind of day to day, but really they're like lifetime. Like there's so many things that you're involved in that are like for the whole span, right? And so you know, you said, what are we going to talk about today? And I was like, oh, I'm sure we'll find something. And like you're over there talking, we always cry. I was like literally tearing up because like I know your story. I know so many things about you. And it is cool, like the connections. And you're right. Like you did just do the high five. And you know what was cool for me? You read 5 Reasons to Do Business with Kathryn Church. But you know what I read? What? I read the people that were sharing it. And I read the people that were commenting on it. And I read the people that were like, this is like, you want to be in her circle. Like you want to know her. You want to be a part of what she's doing. And like, I knew that some of our high fives, we do them every day. And some of them, like folks don't have Facebook. So like they don't get tagged, but we're still their members. So we're going to high five them and we're going to comment. But you're talking about connections. And it's funny because the ones that do, the high fives that do really well are the people who comment themselves, the people who share them to their page. But also some just become like live the minute they hit. And yours was one of those. And I knew it would be because you are truly like this dynamic force, and you don't do it with any intention for anything other than just what you said, like to really just like be grateful for you, who you are and what your life is, and then to impact others in that way. So like we're so appreciative because like you've been Ambassador of the Year. You had to give that title over. I know you were real sad about that, but you got to use that for a whole year. Right. Yep. And now you were just like a previous Ambassador of the Year, which is exciting. Yeah. But I think for me, we just finished our strategic plan. And so many of our ambassadors and board members and members, non-members, people who help in the community, elected officials, got to weigh in on that. And one of the first things that came up, like, and we're going to be talking about it, so I'm not going to say too much. But one of the first things that came up was connections and community and relationships. And like, that's what our chamber's known for. And it's because of people like you and because of businesses like yours and because of organizations that you're involved in. You're involved in a ton of people that aren't members or that are maybe right outside of our community. But that stuff trickles back to our community and it's so powerful. Like the addiction stuff that you do. Like that affects everybody. And you're right. It's not just drugs and alcohol. It is. And we're all guilty. Social media, screen time, like food, just in general, like wallowing in self-pity, right? Like whatever it is that is like your thing. Yeah. So I think that at the end of the day, you can lay your head down and you can feel good about, you know, what you do. And that's amazing.
Yeah. And that actually is something that I say when people like and I don't go around like flaunting all the stuff that I do, but if people ask or they're like, wait, you do this too? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, you must stay busy. And I say, I sleep really well at night.
Yeah, because you're exhausted.
I mean, like,
and it's peaceful because
you
have given out. You know what's funny? You were talking about travel, but you were talking about connections, and you were talking about the chamber. And I wanted to like stand up and shout. I'm like, she won the travel package. That's one of the most awesome things I think that's ever happened.
Do you know how much that has like affected my life?
It was a huge pivot.
I won it in
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
You won it, and what happened?
I won it in 2019 and was planning to go to Greece the spring of 2020.
Da-da-da.
That obviously didn't happen. So I had to stay domestic, and so I ended up using it to go the furthest away possible, Hawaii, and which is actually further than Ireland, which was the next furthest place that I had been. Yeah, because I went there for my college graduation, and did a camper van experience. And since then, I have gone back to Hawaii a second time for camper vanning to do multiple islands. I've also camper vanned in Utah, going to all, I think, 5 national parks there in less than a week. And then did Arizona a couple months ago, going all around the state of Arizona. And then 3 weeks from today, I will be in Europe, not camper vanning, sadly, but finally getting to go to Greece, which is what I wanted to do when I won the travel voucher. So I grew up traveling because I was homeschooled, so we were able to do a lot of traveling with timeshares and stuff. And so it's been a part of who I am because I love seeing different cultures and eating different foods and seeing how different people live. I've been to South America several times. So that just also broadens my horizons of seeing humanity, to bring it all back, to say like, we're all people and I love all people. I don't care what you believe. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your job is. I don't care what your socioeconomic status is. Like, so traveling, like to bring that back around, like that literally, I ain't gonna say it started, but that it definitely was a catalyst.
It like kick-started your next season of what travel looked like for you. Because you came back from Hawaii different. Yeah. Like I did. You came back like different. What do you think it was about that like changed for you?
What a great question.
Because you were like physically, emotionally, spiritually, like you could look at you almost and see like you were different after that trip.
Yeah. And I've got tattoos to prove it. Yeah. I don't know if I had these tattoos on the other news and views, but
I don't think so.
The road to Hana in Maui that's wrapping around the 7 sacred pools, Shaka, which is like, the hang loose. It means like, chill. Seeing how the Hawaiians lived, just the simplicity and the respect they have for nature, the respect they have for people, and family, and Ohana. Think about like Lilo and Stitch, like Ohana means family. I really think that is probably what did it. And of course, that was my first ever camper vanning trip. Yeah. So I learned how to live with less, and I learned how to, make the most of like a very little, and just kind of figuring out like there's so much that we don't need, so much materialistic stuff, so much, just the lavishness and luxury. We don't need that. I was so much happier and so much more at peace on those 9 days. Yes. Yeah. And so I think that's what it is. And it has literally caused me to simplify most every area of my life since then. And that's only been in about 4 years.
Yeah, but you're radically different now, like thinking back to, and I think that was one of the biggest things.
Absolutely.
Which is so cool because it was a raffle. And speaking of raffles, now last year and now this year, you were the sponsor of our giveaway for our golf tournament, but anybody can purchase a ticket and it'll be going live at the end of the month for all summer. But y'all are giving up one of your timeshares for us, and we are so thankful for that. But Casey Insurance is sponsoring it, and you know, again, what a perfect fit for a way that your business can be involved and give back, for you guys to do that. And you don't have to, you buy a ticket, you don't have to go to the timeshare meeting. It's nothing like that. It is theirs. They own it. They are giving it to you. You would be a guest.
I should do a camper vanning raffle instead.
You really should.
I don't know.
Do that in the future.
Not everybody can handle it, though.
No, probably not.
No. But this is a very luxurious resort with all the amenities, either beach or mountains.
Yes. Beach, mountains. It's September to April, I think you use it. And it is a weekday, but it's 3-day, 2-night, and it's free. But it's an awesome raffle, and it's gorgeous. So thank you for sponsoring that, and thank you for being a part of that. And I love it because, to me, it's just it tells another story of like who Kathryn Church is, who KC Insurance is, all the way back to your dad, and all the way back to how y'all traveled as kids, and the things and the legacies he set up for his life and his family. And I love your parents too. Like, they're
pretty great.
That's so awesome how they've come and supported you, and that, you know, he was established and he was doing his thing. And then like you did do the kid thing that a lot of like children are not doing. They're not taking on the family legacy. They're not taking on the family business. And you kind of went and did your thing, and then you're like, yeah, I need a job. I need something different.
Security, like, something that can't be taken away from
this.
a global
I think I
pandemic.
want to do this. And it's just been a really cool thing to see. You know, so much of our membership is made up of small businesses. And so I think for me, over the years, I've known a lot of family businesses and a lot of legacies. And even our business directory right now has got multiple like generational stories in it. And we're in this big shift of, are the kids going to take over the family business, right? And so we're losing some trades, which is why there's such a push for workforce development and the trades and the things that we're doing. But you and I are even sitting in on some mock interviews coming up for some of the kids that are in some of the CTE classes, and just helping them understand life skills and interview skills and what it's going to take to be successful. But I love that the chamber is taking a group of people, and they're all so different, and they come from some very different backgrounds and do very different businesses, because that's what it takes to make the world go around, right? And that's what it takes to make our community. And I'm most proud of at the chamber that our board, our ambassadors, our city council, like, we look like our community, and we look like our membership. Like, we are diverse. We have people coming from all over the place, all walks of life. And like you said, we don't care about any of those things. We just want to embrace you. And like I tell people, whatever your bottom line is what our bottom line is. We are going to help you be successful. We are a champion for the community, for our businesses. And you're one of, like, for me, you're one of those like rock stars. Like, you're a champion for everybody. You want everybody to be happy and successful, and you're willing to do whatever it takes, you know, to do that for yourself, but to also do it for the people that are in your circle. And honestly, your circle is like legit, like bigger than I can even, like, I'm telling you, it is crazy to me how I run into people and they're like, oh, you know Kathryn Church? Like, yeah, I love her. Like, this is how I know her. And so it's just really awesome that, and it's funny because I want to go back and watch the show, because I know some of the stuff we talked about 2 years ago. I know we talked about faith, and we talked about family, and we talked about like our personal connection, like, you know, that we didn't even know until like you had been here for a while. And then I was like, I didn't know that I knew you. I didn't know that I knew your family, and that you didn't know. And so that's what it's all about. It's all about making friends and connections and people we can have relationships with, because like that's what works, right? Like, that's, people come and they say, hey, I need such and such, or hey, I had this idea, and then we're able to connect them. And you have tons of those stories. So we're excited to be talking about testimonies soon too.
We'll have to have a whole other video.
It's going to be a whole other day. It'll be just a Kathryn day where we do all your videos.
Can I have wardrobe changes in between?
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like they're all done together?
Absolutely. And I love that you thought of that. Maybe I'll do some too.
I had 3 this morning before I got here. I was like, something's not right with this. Not that it really matters because I don't care. I really wanted to wear a tie-dye because I want to be known as like
that's your that's
like
kind of like
hippie
your calling
Medicare
card.
agent. Yeah,
you could have.
I mean, because most of the ones that are getting in Medicare, they were hippies.
Yeah, right now.
Both my parents.
Sure.
Yeah, both my parents will be 65 by the end of the year. Sorry, Mom and Dad, if I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. So I mean, they grew up in the 70s, and so I feel like that you're not going to find another Medicare agent probably that's got tattoos and an undercut and wearing tie-dye. And
but you know what's funny? Yeah. That's the stuff that your people were saying about you. They love that you're just so real. And like they feel like when you sit down with them to talk to them about their stuff, you're the same person in that meeting with them that you would be if they met you in a restaurant or on a street corner. And that's, I think, powerful. I think that's really powerful. Well, we are already over time, so we will wrap up with.
We probably knew we would.
Oh gosh, we could talk all day. We know that, and we could talk about different stuff, and we could probably do your show every month, and there'd be something to talk about. And you said you don't have new news to share, but that's not really true. I mean, we just talked about like how different life is for you, and how you're still here doing the things that you're doing, but you're also being really intentional about how you spend your time and how you give of yourself. Because I also think you've been through some things where you realize that you gave so much of yourself that maybe you didn't get it back. And so you have started to have boundaries about what you do and how you give of you and who's deserving of that. And I think that's amazing. And I am incredibly proud of you and all the things that you've accomplished. And I just think that you are really a rock star. You are. So thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for being willing to be an ambassador and to proudly wear that badge, no matter what continent or state or city or town or zip code you're in. You are always wearing your badge, and you're always very kind to others, and you're always trying to help others. And we're just grateful to have you as part of ours, to call you ours.
Grateful to be here.
Well, I'm glad. Tell people where they can find you, though, if they're looking for KC Insurance and they're hippies and it's time for all the things. Tell them how to find you.
Well, my phone number, I have my phone all the time, 336-453-4410. I respond more quickly to text messages than calls, but I will call you back if you leave me a voicemail. I'm on Facebook, Kathryn Church Insurance. If you don't know how to spell my name, I think it's going to be on the little banner.
It will be.
But yes, I'm pretty sure I'm the only Kathryn Church Insurance. And
or call the chamber.
I'm not on Google. Autumn Hollifield, shout out, has been encouraging me or whatever to get a website and Google, and so I just don't need to do that. Shout out, Autumn. I can't really wink. I'm going to wink with both eyes. You get a double wink. So, so soon maybe then I will get a website because, I mean, I guess people do that. But most people on social media. Yeah. And a lot of them.
And a lot of word of mouth.
Yes. Word of mouth for sure. You'll probably see my face on coffee mugs if you go to local places for breakfast around here. You see my cards scattered out throughout the county. Yeah. And then obviously Rockingham Chiropractic next to the Rollabout in Eden. So I sport and support my Rockingham Chiropractic shirt almost as much as KC Insurance during the year.
And honestly, they could probably pull up at a business anywhere and find you screening on any random day.
Tis true. Tis true. I
see
people and they're like, you are
the
everywhere.
Hardware store or whatever.
Yes.
It's my favorite thing when I don't know you're going to be somewhere and we pull up. I think that's how carpool karaoke happened that day.
It is.
It is.
We need to bring that back.
We do need to bring that back.
That is so fun.
I know. It was fun. It's time.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Can I end with a quote?
Listen, it's your show. You do what you want.
So you've heard the quote, Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Master of none.
Yeah.
Do you know that's not the full quote?
Yeah.
Do you know the last part?
I can't repeat it, but I've heard it.
Jack of all trades, master of none is oftentimes being a master of one.
Ooh.
And I'm like...
Look at you remembering it and saying it.
Yes, and I heard that again this week, listened to another podcast, because I listen to podcasts a lot. And I was like, that is a pretty good synopsis of my life, because people say, you're a jack of all trades. And I didn't even know the end of that quote till this week. And I'm like, I I agree with that, and I fully endorse that, because I would rather have experience doing a lot of things than like just hone in on one thing.
Well, yeah.
And I might not be great at anything that I do, but I want to at least like attempt and learn and try and yeah.
Yeah, but lifelong learners are the ones who really like, I think, fulfill what they're meant to be, because, and just like what you said, listening to podcasts, like people who actively engage, like what other intelligent people have to say, or what experienced people have to say, or whatever it is that they are, but like listening to other people, like, and soaking up that knowledge is what makes the difference, I think. So
agreed.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to pause this one and we'll bring it back some other time. But
probably really over time.
Yeah, we're okay.
It's okay.
We're okay. It's kind of a common theme and thread lately. I might have to take the show up a notch. So, all right. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you. Shout out to Sip Coffee House for my London fog.
For your London fog.
Yeah.
I feel like I needed one this morning. So I know I'm getting there. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. As always, you can find us in the heart of downtown Reidsville at 140 South Scale Street, on our social channels, or on our website, reidsvillechamber.org. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.